Have you ever wondered what the world would look like if the old gods, the pantheons of Greece, Rome, or Egypt, had never faded away? What if polytheism, not monotheism, was the dominant belief system today? It's a fascinating thought experiment. So let's explore it. Right off the bat, we trade clarity for flexibility. Instead of one all-powerful deity, you'd have a whole host of gods, each with their own domains, personalities, and agendas. This brings incredible nuance to life. A bad harvest isn't just a sign of divine displeasure. It's a specific issue with a specific deity. Maybe Demeter is upset, or perhaps Dionysus is feeling neglected. Your relationship with the divine becomes a complex negotiation, a cosmic balancing act. You'd have patron gods for your city, your profession, even your family. Life would be a rich tapestry of rituals, festivals, and personal devotions, each tailored to a different aspect of existence. But this complexity comes at a cost. Simplicity is lost. During a major crisis like a plague or a war, who do you turn to? In a monotheistic world, there's one number to call, one ultimate authority to petition. In a polytheistic one, it's a frantic scramble. Do you pray to Ares for victory, Apollo for guidance, or Asclepius for healing? Without a single unified divine command, coordinating a large-scale response becomes a messy, complicated affair. Different factions might champion different gods, leading to internal conflict right when unity is needed most. On the other hand, this very fragmentation would make dogma incredibly difficult to enforce. With so many divine perspectives, no single idea could claim absolute truth for long. If the priests of Zeus declare something a universal law, the followers of Hera or Poseidon might simply disagree. This creates a marketplace of ideas where beliefs have to compete and adapt to survive. Religious wars of conversion would be far less likely. Why conquer someone to force them to worship your god when you already accept that other gods exist? It fundamentally changes the nature of conflict and culture. Now, what about science? Science would still progress, of course. The human drive to understand the natural world is universal. But its cultural position might be very different. Instead of being the ultimate arbiter of truth, it would be one way of knowing among many. It would share the stage with myth, philosophy, and divine revelation. This could slow down certain kinds of technological progress, as resources and intellectual energy are spread more thinly. But it could also prevent the kind of blind, arrogant confidence that sometimes comes with a purely materialistic worldview. It's all about balance. And that word, balance, is really the key to this whole thought experiment. Because when you look closely at our modern, supposedly monotheistic or secular world, we don't really live that way, do we? We act as if one explanation, one system, is enough, but our lives are a testament to the contrary. We meticulously separate our work life from our love life, our logic from our emotions, our pursuit of efficiency from our search for meaning. We worship at the altar of the market on Monday, dedicate ourselves to the family on Sunday, and chase personal wellness on a Saturday morning. Think about it. We have different gods we serve. The god of the quarterly earnings report. The god of a perfect social media post. The god of romantic love. We already live a polytheistic life in practice, we just don't call it that. We've just swapped out the names. Maybe the old gods didn't disappear at all. Maybe they were just absorbed, rebranded into modern systems, corporate labels, and social roles. Perhaps Apollo now oversees our art and science institutions, while Hermes rules our global communication networks. Maybe what truly changed wasn't the number of gods, but our tolerance for ambiguity. We crave a single simple story to make sense of a chaotic world. A world with many gods is inherently messy, full of contradictions and competing claims. It reflects a reality that isn't neat and tidy. So the real question isn't whether a polytheistic world would be better or worse. It's whether it would be more honest. More honest about the complex, often contradictory nature of reality and the human experience. It's a strange habit, isn't it? We live in a world obsessed with the new, the next big thing, the future. Yet we find ourselves digging through the ruins of the past, dusting off ancient myths and forgotten texts. Why do we do this? I don't think it's because we're looking for a blueprint to rebuild what once was. It's not about reviving old gods or bringing back outdated traditions. I think it's about something much more personal. We return to these old ideas to understand ourselves. We use them as a mirror. When we look at the myths of the Greeks, the wisdom of the Stoics, or the spiritual texts of the East, we're not just learning about them. we're learning about us. We see our own struggles, our own questions, our own hopes reflected in these timeless narratives. It's a way of connecting our small individual lives to the grand, sweeping story of humanity. It reminds us that we're not the first to feel lost, to seek meaning, or to stare up at the stars and wonder what it's all for. And here's a thought: maybe the past wasn't wiser than we are today. We have science, technology, and a global connection they could only dream of. But perhaps they had something we've started to lose: a comfort with uncertainty. They lived in a world filled with mystery, a world that wasn't fully mapped or explained. They built complex mythologies and philosophies not to find one single definitive answer, but to explore the many possible meanings of life. They were comfortable with ambiguity. They understood that a question could be more powerful than an answer. Living in a world with many meanings, a world where multiple truths can coexist, doesn't guarantee peace or easy answers. In fact, it can be chaotic and confusing. But what it does promise is perspective. It allows us to see a problem from different angles, to appreciate the complexity of the human experience, and to cultivate a sense of humility. It stops us from falling into the trap of thinking we have it all figured out. So maybe the real loss we've experienced in the modern age isn't a loss of faith in a particular god or a specific belief system. Maybe the real loss is our patience. The patience to live with unanswered questions. The patience to sit with complexity without rushing to find a simple solution. The patience to exist in a world that is vast and mysterious without needing to have the final word on everything. Perhaps the greatest wisdom we can reclaim from the past is the courage to say, "I don't know," and to find beauty, not fear, in that admission. Thanks for watching. If this idea resonates with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more reflections like this.